Hello, everybody, and welcome to the sprint review for Sprint 47 and the forecast for Sprint 48 for SSW Rewards. The SSW Rewards app has a page here on the ssw.com.au website. All right, so let's go straight into the review. The review for Sprint 47. Sprint 47 had two sprint goals. The first one is a done video for the notifications feature, which will double as a training video for people at SSW booths at conferences to learn how to use this feature for the app. And we have marked that as done since Jake has done the video, although he will be doing a new version of it after some feedback. The second sprint goal is this was about some improvements to the notification system UI because it was working functionally at the end of last sprint, but we had some feedback for JK on how it works. So he got all that feedback done and made the video. That's what these two sprint goals were. So that's great. So this is the review for Sprint 47. The recording will be linked here after finishing this video. I'm the product owner. It used to be Adam, and JK and I did the sprint review alone since Zach was still is on a spec review. All right, any questions about that before we get into the data?
Just update the attendees is all.
Yeah, sure. Zach, Adam, Cookie, Vlad. Cool. Okay, there were 61 hours billed in this sprint. 40 of them by JK and 21 of them by Zach. The reason for Zach having less hours is because he was on a spec review for 2 days. Here is the list of PBIs that were done. So you can see that we got quite a few done, including these last three that I've highlighted here. These last three dones at the bottom were small-ish ones that were bugs that had been reported in the past. Some of them were relevant, some of them weren't anymore because they had already been fixed, but it's great to just get those PBIs closed off, take them out of the backlog.
Sorry, can I just double check? You've done the .NET 9 migration and it's in production.
Yes.
That is amazing work. Okay, that's awesome. And was the performance any better? Were any bugs gone?
So I can say that I have less issues on Windows. There's still some deployment issues and stuff like that, but far fewer than .NET 8. Feels far more stable. I'm not sure if it's significantly fast. I didn't notice much of that. Zach, did you notice anything?
I did some benchmarks and it was about 10% faster for builds on average. But nothing too serious. But it did mean we could clean up a lot of workaround code that we had in the code base because of .NET 8 issues.
So
that was nice.
The Maui front end is in .NET 9 and the rewards API on the back end is in .NET 9.
Yep, everything.
Good. Great work. That's awesome.
Just on that, so we have some AI integration on the API side for quizzes, and I know .NET 9 brought in some new AI namespaces. Are we bothering to move over to that those new APIs?
We hadn't discussed that yet.
Okay, cool. No worries.
Yeah. Also, that project is a separate API, so it can be done separately from rewards.
It is. Sorry, my mistake. Yep. Carry on.
Okay. Thanks for that. We'll talk about that later, and that might be a good thing to add. All right. Any more questions about the PBIs before we move on?
Have you showed us the video that JK did?
No, I haven't. That's a good point. Let's show the video. Is
it live on the channel? Just go to the channel and maybe it's sitting there. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, the video is live on the SSW Rewards channel. It's 4 minutes long, and it's a nice video showing how all this functionality works. I won't play the whole thing now. But we can see JK here shows how to send a notification by clicking on the red button and then filling out all this info. You can send notifications now or schedule them for the future. So yeah, great video by JK. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Okay, moving on to the sprint burn up. So the purple line are the PBIs that were completed. The green line is the amount of effort that this sprint had in it. So you can see we got most of the effort done. The purple line is getting pretty close to the green line, so that's good. Code coverage not implemented yet. And now moving on to the burn up for the entire project. So the green line at the top is all the PBIs in the project, and purple line at the bottom is what we completed this sprint. So we made about a dent of about 10 sprint. All right, moving on to the GitHub metrics. These are metrics for the last 30 days. 13 new PBIs in the last 30 days, and 77% of them made with Yakshaver. 25 completed, and that gives us a net change of minus 12 PBIs, which is great. We want to see that in the negatives. It means that we're completing more than we're adding, which is good. All right, onto deployment stats. 1 deployment to production, 3 to the API, 3 to beta, and 2 to the admin portal. 0 to SSW identity, which handles the auth. Moving on to application health overview. Now, if you recall from the last sprint review, we had a lot of noise in the failed request graph, which is the one on the left. You can see on the left side of that graph that it's up around the top of the graph. That actually was the height of this graph normally across the entire week. So for every sprint, we had that many failed requests, and it was just a lot of noise due to bots and stuff. And one of JK's PBIs this sprint was to reduce all that noise, and you can see now we're down to 0 for most of the time, which means we're actually getting good data.
Yeah,
So
it went from 2,300 down to less than 100. So 95% reduction in errors.
What are you filtering out?
So there was one request that was checking, pinging if the service is alive, and there were a lot of things like .php script kiddie attempts to probe for security issues. I basically all of the known ones that we can safely ignore, I have a list now, and I ignored those. No longer log them. They are still marked in, we can still find them if we need to verify, but they are all of the ones that we know they are fine to ignore, they're ignored now.
Okay, cool.
Any more questions about the App Insights?
I just think it's a huge win to be able to filter out all that noise and now have meaningful data. So that was super valuable.
Yep.
Yeah, same.
Agreed.
Yeah, and for the first time, I noticed there was new pattern of attempted attack for Outlook, Exchange, and Windows, which doesn't impact us, but it's something I haven't seen it because it was buried with all of that data.
And is that something that we need to investigate?
Just expand the list that we can of URLs that we can ignore.
Right, got you. Okay.
Where is that list, JK? Is it in App Insights or is it in rewards?
It's in app settings.json in the application because we don't have the front door at the moment, Azure front door. Yeah. But if we get enough reasons to have Azure front door and get sysadmins thumbs up, then yeah, we can migrate it to that. But right now it's the application that filters it in, and it uses some new .NET 9 features to make it super fast.
Okay. That'd be good to share with the other products that are on .NET 9 as well, because they would suffer the same problem.
Okay, JK, can you make a note of that?
Yeah, well, I already mentioned it to not Toby, someone from Sam M on TimePro.
Okay, great. Moving on to the analytics from Firebase. So this tells us about the mobile app. So we have a screenshot for iOS and a screenshot for Android as well. This is the iOS one. So you can see in the last 7 days on the left side, we have 100% crash-free users. So that's perfect. Moving on to the analytics for Android, we also have 100% crash-free users. Or sorry, we have 100% crash-free sessions, but 80% crash-free users. We're not really sure what the discrepancy in that data is, but we think that it comes from a crash in the prior 7 days before this last block of 7 days. And since it's averaging out, the graph kind of looks like that. That's what we have on that for now, but we're not quite sure what exactly this is.
Yeah, it could also be that it says crashes, but they are actually exceptions.
Yes, right. That's also a possibility. Okay, moving on to the product roadmap. I'll zoom in for everybody here. The product roadmap is on the rewards page on the website. And then moving on to R&D. For experimental work in this sprint, JK was working on the notifications using a system called Hangfire, which is new. And Zach and JK both working on the .NET 9 upgrade, which is also new and therefore experimental.
Hangfire is not new.
Sorry, I meant new to JK.
Oh, okay. JK, you hadn't heard of Hangfire before?
I have. I just didn't want to correct.
You're gonna say we use it in TimePro, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
So JK, yeah. Is this not considered R&D then? Because I thought it was a thing that you had never used before, but you started using it for rewards notifications.
So we already used Hangfire. The new thing that it is the way we schedule. Most of the time we have a fixed schedule. This one is dynamic scheduling.
Right. So this should say Hangfire for dynamic scheduling.
Yeah, this is the first project that I am aware of that dynamically schedules tasks.
Right. Okay. Okay. So is that correct now?
Yes.
Okay. Great. Okay. Moving on from R&D to AI use. So we had no change in the AI tools this week from last week. Zach still using JetBrains AI with Claude 4 and Yakshaver. JK still using GitHub Copilot with GPT 4.1, Gemini 2.5 Pro, and Yakshaver. Any questions before we move on to the Sprint Retro?
Nope.
All right. So I'm very happy that JK's the notifications feature is done and JK's done video about the feature is done. Everyone is happy that App Insight's noise is down by 95% according to our calculations. JK and I are happy that .NET 9 upgrade is in production. And JK is happy that he has MacBook.
He has a MacBook.
He has a MacBook.
And you should put he has a big MacBook.
A really big and heavy.
Mac.
A Mac novel, if you will.
Big MacBook.
Is it too big, JK, or just the right size?
It's a bit big, but I'll take it as a strength training exercise.
Right. Okay.
I can't believe you've joined the dark side, JK.
Yes, you're the Windows guy.
Yeah. .NET MAUI is still a pain to configure, but once .NET MAUI is configured on my MacBook, I'm switching to MacBook.
Wow.
And we only had 1 point of negative feedback, which is that setting up JK's big MacBook takes a while, and so he's still been on Windows.
Right. Okay. So, JK, when you are setting up your MacBook, I want you to pretend you're an idiot and you are following just what the documentation says. Don't use all your brain power to do workarounds. Just follow the step by step. If the instructions are wrong, fix it and then continue.
There's a lot of things that I'll need to fix up, but also starting off not using Mac before and starting off, there's a lot of things that needs to be done, and it's too big to put it into F5 experience.
Would you say it's a big MacBook problem?
Yeah, best to find a good tutorial for that because it can take a while.
I'm pretty sure the prior devs have been on Windows, right?
You mean Mac?
No, the rewards users were Windows, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're the first one, so you've got to fix that documentation bit by bit. Doesn't matter if it takes longer. Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, you installed Visual Studio for Mac, which what most people did. That is no longer the way since recently, so I'm kind of the first one setting up Mac from scratch without Visual Studio for Mac, which includes a couple of extra steps. Okay,
so JK, the bits that you're not sure about, don't waste too much time spinning your wheels. Just put to do, no idea, but this, to do, investigate this later or something. Just try to get up and running, but document it as you go.
Yeah, I've been doing this for the last few days, like try a bit progress on Mac, then work on Windows, and when I compile and stuff like that, switch to Mac.
Right, okay.
Okay, any questions about the retro before we move on to the forecast? No questions. Moving on to the forecast for Sprint 48. Need to update the number. The sprint goals for Sprint 48. So these actually are not set yet. So I'm just going to highlight them in yellow because we were not sure about the PBIs that Adam was going to want in this sprint.
Well, the new version of the of that video with you'll have to yak shave a whole bunch of that feedback that I gave you.
Yes.
Then there's the offline one, and then there is the video for using the TV at a conference. And then the final thing is white labeling it, so non SSW users can use it a bit easier than they can today.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
For the kiosk leaderboard, while there is a video, you have given some additional feedback for which I need to put some time to actually implement it. So it may make sense to implement the new features before I create a new version of the video.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
So on the screen now, you can see the forecast for next sprint that JK and I have decided on, but we'll have to amend that with Adam's request. Any questions about that?
Yeah, just go back to the email. So those two things that are in the email, are they what you had prioritized, Seth?
No, this is copied from a past email, so they're just outdated.
Okay.
Yeah.
As your product owner, like I know Adam is like the stakeholder, but I would probably just in future have a 10-minute conversation with Adam prior to sprint planning, just to do that stakeholder management where you can go, hey, sprint review's coming up. Do you have any other priorities, or are you happy for me to prioritize? And then we don't need to kind of figure this out on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should definitely. Can you go to a new tab and search SSW rules, manage up? You should be doing your best guess in that sprint review. We can have a look. You and the devs can have your best guess, and I will just just scroll down to you see the recommended bit, but basically that's what you want to do. You want to do your best guess at it, and I will correct it if necessary. Yep. But usually the devs and the product owner have a good idea what should be done. Stakeholders changing it should be by exception.
Sure. We did come up with a sprint forecast here, and
Okay.
I would say that these are what the priorities are, but we should have a conversation about it to make sure we're synced up.
Yeah, and I would have copied them into the email so it was kind of ready to go unless there was a problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, very good that you put bugs first. Love to see it.
Yeah.
Leaderboard is one word, not two. Number 3. The
Yes.
third one.
Yes, good point. We'll fix that up.
Okay, no worries.
Okay, this video will be added to the SSW Rewards YouTube channel, and so you can find it there. Thanks for watching, gentlemen. See you next time.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.